when you started it, and even I started it not too long ago, was much more rough than it is now. Now, it's essentially, you could use AI to make a website in not too long of a period of time, and that's what we're going to dive into. We're going to dive into from the most basic to even more advanced and cool website builders in this episode. Hi, my name is Dimitri Benici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. In this episode, we're diving into the best AI website builders in 2025. How you doing, Ida?
Hey, I'm doing great. The spring is here, and we are sitting inside building websites. But with the help of AI, we are spending less time building websites. So that we can go outside and enjoy the good weather as well.
Exactly. As the summer comes and you want to spend more time in the outside, it's always important to do that. So. I would just say, for me, I love this new world we live in, because at the end of the day, website building, when you started it, and even I started it not too long ago, was much more rough than it is now. Now, it's essentially, you could use AI to make a website in not too long of a period of time, and that's what we're going to dive into. We're going to dive into from the most basic to even more advanced and cool website builders in this episode.
And I wanted to really think about in 2025, how would you build a website, right? In the past, we would write HTML code, we would use templates, we would use ready-made templates, things like that, or just hire a designer, cut down those files, the PNG files into a web page and turn them into HTML, right? There's so many different kinds of ways you could create websites, but there was a lot of effort going into it. But in 2025, the AI is here. Now, you can actually use AI to come up with different approaches, different workflows to create websites. So that's what I try to do. I try to find a good way to develop a website from scratch and make it easy, but also make it comprehensive, cover everything. So I tried different approaches, and today I'm gonna share some of those approaches. And I know that you have some cool stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited to dive into this. There's so many different ways you can go about it. We're going to cover everything from basic websites to even how to make a web app using a certain tool that we'll get into in this episode.
So one approach I used was I wanted to write a prompt to generate prompt. So that I can use that prompt on the building tools that could actually help me create web pages, right? So the prompt is create high-level creative prompt for generating landing page for Jotform AI presentation. So this is a new product we are working on. As you know, we have the AI agents product, and now we are working on a new version of this product that can actually do presentations. While I'm thinking about this, I wanted to create a web page. We have designers who are actually, who are going to build a better page. But, I thought that this would be a good exercise to try to build it myself. Basically, I'm prompting ChatGPT to create me a prompt. And then I will copy and paste this prompt on other products like V0, or Bolt, Lovable, different products. But I first wanted to create. So the other thing I did was these are actually PDF files. AI, there's a marketing plan, there's a marketing guidelines, and there's a design guidelines. And these these documents were also created by AI. So what I
Yeah.
did was I went to Gemini, deep research, right? 2.5 Pro, Gemini Advanced. So basically, like the first one I created was examine this page. So we already have this Jotform AI agents page. So I wanted to have the same style, same design. So I said examine this page and create a design style guidelines for future Jotform AI agents products. Right, this is it. And just like that, Gemini deep research, it worked like 15, 20 minutes, and then it created this document. And this document basically has everything, like just, you know, core aesthetics and user experience, the color palette, and like just like if I try to write all these things, like it would just take me such a long time and I would miss so many things, right? But now I have this, and then I downloaded and turned that into a PDF file to be able to give it to AI as well.
Hmm.
Usage guidelines, like color palette, summary table, things like that, typography. Yeah, so it covers everything, right? The fonts we use, different fonts we use for different kind of like titles and icons, styles, things like that. So basically, Gemini created this huge document that actually, and it's even called the Jotform AI Agents Design System. It even gave it a name to describe, our style, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, it actually looked at all these pages to come up with that. Another prompt I did with Gemini, Advanced Deep Research, and this is all free, right? Deep Research is available all free to everyone, I believe.
Hmm.
Examine this product page again and create a product landing page marketing guidelines. So, like, how would you create a landing page, right? This is the document, and this is not about the design of the page, but more about the marketing language and stuff like that. So that it can actually describe the product. What kind of things it should have in the product page landing pages, product landing pages. And the third one was I just prompted Jotform is going to release a new product called AI Presentation Agent. Create a marketing document to help us build a product landing page for this product. So now I'm actually going into like describing the product. So this is going to be a product page, right? We need
Hmm.
to describe the product. All the features it has, like you can upload a presentation to turn into an AI presentation. You can bring your own slides to life with AI voice. So it has a voice. The presentation says AI voice. AI can also generate presentations, and you can embed these presentations into your website, or you can link to them. And so I basically described like what's going to be in the product. Like we are still building this product, still probably a couple of months away from launch,
Yeah.
but I know pretty much like most of these features are already implemented in the beta program. So, and
Hmm.
then it created this AI presentation agent marketing plan. So again, this is also useful for me as well, like just reading all this stuff and like just even like talking about the competitors. There are some competitors, and this one is pretty good actually. Like it can generate really beautiful presentations, and like we are in the beta period, and I just saw like there was one of the Jotform users actually. It has this watermark gamma, and then they created the presentation there, and then they use Jotform AI presentations to AI presentations to actually add voice to it as well. So
Oh
it
wow.
has all these documentation, very long documents, competitive research. Like it's browsed all these websites to create this document. And then the next thing I did was I actually gave these documents, and then I said, create a high level, create a prompt for generating landing page for Jotform AI presentation agent. And then I gave documents to it. Actually, the original one actually had the third one as well, but I did that last week, so I had to recreate it here.
Hmm.
And then so I also added some additional like stuff like that. It doesn't actually need it because the style guide already has this, but you can add stuff here as well to emphasize them. And then it created the prompt for landing page generator. Design a so this is the prompt. Basically, I can copy this. The original one I used was kind of a little bit different. So and then I can just copy this and put it on one of the AI tools, and that's what I did. So one of the things I used was Manus. So I also used Manus' own its own like the deep research as well. It was also pretty good, but I used the Gemini version here, and then ask it to using the design and marketing guidelines attached, design a product landing page for JotForm's new product called AI Presentation Agent. Marketing information via presentation information is also attached. So this is it. So basically, I run this on Manus. This is on my Manus.AI.
Mm-hmm.
I am, and it created this page. So right, this is a web page, and it actually gave me all the files. Right, even the HTML file. I can actually download this. Everything is included. I can download this, but it also like just publishes on a web page as well. But I could always download this, change things, and make it live somewhere else as well. Transform static slides into it. Came up with all this stuff like just the headlines, demo, watch video. I could just put the video here as well, and then create, present, interact, all with AI. So it created all these sections for me, and it has the product information, pricing information, templates, things like that. It's actually not working, but I can scroll here. Right, real-time AI QA, multiple ways to create AI presentations. Right, it just created all these icons for me as well. Yeah, I mean, I could just upload this and start using it. It didn't really do well with the file guidelines. I wouldn't say that, but I will also show the other examples as well. So another one is like this V0. So
Mm-hmm.
V0 is this product that can actually build websites, apps as well, and basically it created this website for me. Like just I tried it twice, so let me show you one of them. So it came up with this turn content into engaging presentations instantly, and so right, it has some stuff here. It can actually do stuff like that. I think, yeah, this one actually has like, it actually did this like this tool to uh, move between different options here. And you can see that it's created all these icons, put these sections on it. It's describing so like this is not just doing the job of the designer, a job of
Yeah.
the coder, the person like the CSS code person, or the web page builder, and it's also doing the job of the marketing, the product marketing person as well. So I mean, if you're one of them, right, it's great. Like when you're trying to create a prototype, instead of writing a document, you can just generate a web page to see like if the titles make sense, perfect for teams of all sizes, things like that, right? One of the things that's different with V0, it actually created all these like clickable, really JavaScript or CSS based sections as well. In these what user says, like these are not real,
Yeah.
obviously. It just came up with them, but we could always replace them with the real ones from our beta program, and it looks pretty good. And yeah, I think, let me see if I will also show the bolt
Okay.
again. I gave the prompts here as well to come up with these web page. Let's take a look at this one. Create
Mm-hmm.
stunning presentations with AI. It's using the JotForm AI agents, fonts and the colors, beautiful templates, smart automation, content intelligence. So, I mean, I don't really spend too much time on them to make them really look great. I could do that, but just it was a way for me to be able to start come up with, like, build some mocks, build some ideas, like just think about the titles, think about the ideas. So for me, this is good enough. Like, just I don't have to make them live, but you can still use them, like just keep using them to improve them, to really build your website, like just the whole thing. But at this point, like, just I was just trying different ideas, seeing how they look like, what the titles look like. So this is not just about in 2025, right? In
Mm-hmm.
2020, maybe, like, 5 years ago, right? You would hire a designer, you would hire a coder, and you would
Yep.
hire maybe a marketing person if you are not that person. And today, all these things can be done with AI. And, like, you are the manager, and then you just spend time with your prompts and improve your prompts, and you create these websites. And for me, like, I'm not like, we have professionals who do this, but if I was still a small business, that I could just really, like, customize these and just make them live, and they would work really well. And today the tools can go even further. They can actually write code, and I know that you will give an example that actually has much more substance in terms of being an app. So why don't you go
Yeah.
ahead? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think just to take a note on that, obviously what I'm going to cover is a website. And you just showed it in Bolt, but let me just give you a brief explanation of how some of these products can kind of work, because I think it's a little important to point out the difference between websites and like applications, right? So websites for general purposes are going to be, pages that showcase info about something. Maybe there's some small integrations to things like booking links to like book a call with somebody, but most of those things are like embedded on the website. And it's a lot of visuals and text and links to other links, pretty much. But obviously a web app is a different thing, but it is kind of a website in a way. And for those of you that haven't heard of it, I'll show you lovable.dev. So lovable.dev, and I'm thinking of doing another deep dive as well for like a full episode to kind of show things when my product is a little bit more publicly and readily available. But what Lovable essentially is it's a tool that essentially allows you to take ideas and turn them into, what Aidekin was saying, like an actual software engineer could make something like this. Like for me, I have always been wondering and wanting to make a lot of different little tools for many purposes. And we've talked about it before, but I make content about apps. And something that I've always wanted for my own team and for other people, because how I got my start was making like productivity apps on YouTube, was I thought to myself, it'd be a really nice thing if on a website, I could just open it up and learn everything about an app that usually I research myself. There's like pricing pages, there's like integrations, there's all of these little nooks and crannies, right, of a product. So essentially what I'm building out here using code, and you can actually see it's working right now, is a tool called App Map. So this is something you can see all the stuff I've worked on with it. It's a lot of work, but for all intents and purposes, I had an idea, like Aidekin said. I went to ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you want, and I did some research, right? And that research ended up leading me to ask to create this website. Now, how is it powered? It's not just through a website. It's also through a couple different things. The difference between the app and the website, like I said, is text and integrations versus actually having somewhere to store the data and do functions. So Lovable partners with the tool, as you can see right here, called Supabase. So Supabase has a lot of cool things. It has a dashboard where you can dive in and take a look at everything that's available. And it's essentially a bunch of different tables, an SQL editor. Now, these tables are essentially databases, just like you'd find in a tool like Notion or ClickUp or whatever. And I didn't make any of these tables by hand. right? I didn't make any of these things by hand. I literally texted in the prompt bar over here what I wanted, right? And as you can see, by the way, what's really cool about this is if it writes incorrect code, it literally has a fix it button. But I didn't make any of these different tabs, but essentially what this goal is there's a bunch of different tools, and I wanted an app where if you looked up the tool, it would add it to the list of tools and keep the information so that it could do scraping for me and also have like a database for different apps. So all of these are what are called edge functions. So edge functions are like mini automations where it's coded out to do something. So you may have to add APIs. You know, I've showed it in a lot of my own videos on the channel or podcast episodes on the channel, you know, requesting to do little bits and pieces here and there of like, hey, get this page's information. So essentially all of these are little edge functions where it'll like, for example, scrape the website, try to find the pricing page, try to find the social profiles, right? All of these little nooks and crannies of information. And essentially inside of this tool, all you have to do is prompt and you'll get the results you want. If you prompt well enough, I will be completely honest and say, in order to do advanced app functionality, you got to do a lot of troubleshooting, and it is not perfect off the bat. But I also don't need to hire a coder. You know, I could hire a low code / automation person, and they would know how to do this because, and that's at a much significantly cheaper price, right? Because they understand maybe how the flows of things should go, and they could see where, for example, an issue is coming up that doesn't work right. So I'll show you an example here, but if I type Todoist in here and press Explore App, it then goes to the website and scrapes it. Now, I looked up this page, right? How did I look up this page? I know there's some errors, so forgive me. But I looked up this page through literally telling Lovable, hey, I want a Google search type, you know, website looker upper right here. And it then directed me to go to Google's website and go to their API and create a programmatic Google search, right? And then a lot of the little bits and pieces here are like the stuff you have to like add to it. Like for example, when I first had it, if I typed, there was no autocomplete, but it was able to add it. I literally said, hey, can you add autocomplete? And it did it. I said, you know, I would really appreciate if when I press enter, it would press explore app because by default, I'd have to click it. You know, a lot of those little user interface things you're going to have to add. But at the end of the day,
Dimitri, did you know that what you are doing actually has a name?
What is that?
It's called vibe coding.
Vibe coding?
Vibe coding. Have you heard of that?
No, I've not heard about this.
It's just like by just talking, you're coding. You're not like typing code, but you're talking and vibe coding. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. That makes sense. So as you can see right here, there's a lot of like little nooks and crannies of errors that you have to work through. But basically, you know, you take a look at things like the overview page, it captures the logo, it captures their G2 reviews, it captures their website, it gives a summary, it finds different pages like their product updates page. Like for example, this is Notion's change log, or, you know, whatever little bits and pieces here. Like I'm working on some cool things. Like for example, it does an internet search of the strengths and weaknesses and stuff, but all of these different things aren't just available when you make it, but you can make them available by what Idakin's saying by quote vibe coding. So what this is a great example of the functionality, right? I told it I wanted this layout, and then I have to go through and teach it how to put that information in there. So like for example, you see this as key features, right? And then the other features. Now, this is pretty incredible. But what I did was I utilized those edge functions that I showed you. I said, can you make a edge function that does deep research with Perplexity to find the information for this category? And then you kind of have to jerry rig, making sure it fits into the page and stuff like that. Like for example here, right? This goes to their integrations page, right? This is pretty nice. And obviously everybody's going to have their own intrigue as to what would be good for their application. But my point is, if you know how to get information, like this G2 thing, right? There's no direct integration to this. I utilized my instincts and I used ChatGPT and I asked questions like, what do you think would be a good way to get this information to show up? It gave me the advice to use Perplexity as AI that has the search capability to find what the score out of 5 is on G2. And then I told it, can you add this logo? And can you add a link to the G2? And there it is, you know? So it's all these little bits of information like help docs, right? These are the help docs for the product. So it's got all of like the go-to needs, but all of these little nooks and crannies took me hours of work, but not really that much in comparison to what it would have been like if I had hard coded this, you know? So
if you think about it, you could even like find something that you like and say, hey, just, you know, whatever you see here, just replicate that, or even like
exactly.
give it a screenshot and then, hey, I want this. Like, can you add this to my web page? And then it will just go and add that.
Exactly. And the cool thing is it has that connection with Supabase, so there's like an incredible backend, and that's how these apps are stored after I originally searched them up. And between that and, you know, it has full capabilities very easily. This was not hard whatsoever. It made login and log out capabilities, right? So like, for example, if I go to the preview page, you know, I did add something that was cool to where basically I can't use it after a certain amount of attempts if I'm not logged in. So it forces me to go through a sign up process, but I was able to do a sign in process with Google, all that kind of stuff. It was very cool. And then once you're signed in, you have your search history, you have the ability to edit your account. I didn't do a crazy amount of work on the other, you know, pages and stuff like this, right? Like, but as Idekin showed, you can pretty easily make the front end stuff. Like this is more an app, but that front end stuff that Idekin was showing with like nice graphic design and stuff to showcase the application, 100%. You could add that to using Lovable very easily. And I guess just to show you like inside of the app itself, right? Like it's pretty amazing how I just told it make a contact page for me. It made a contact page for me. But like Idekin said, I want to probably show, let's take a Jotform as an example, right? So Jotform.com, I want to find a page that we can maybe steal some of the inspiration from or something like that. So, ooh, by the way, Product Hunt. I should have thought of Product Hunt as being one of the things that we Google in order to find the score. But so I really like this, right? This little bit of a showcase. So maybe we can make like a home page or something. So if I go back to App Map, what I want to do is I can say the home page is fine, but let's make a new page called /product. And on that page, I want you to make me a home page layout that showcases in a cool design with graphics all of the features that exist within App Map. Please base the design off what you see here. And then what I can do is I can go back to the Jotform page and I can take some screenshots. I like doing that a lot. I like taking some screenshots. Right, so I can go back. I can take some screenshots. I can say Jotform.com homepage. And the possibilities are pretty much endless. If there is an API connection, you can code it because it has the database functionality. It has the edge call functionality to utilize those APIs and then store it for later. So, oh, I'm not talking about no error. What error are you talking about? So this is something that happens, by the way. Whenever you are building something, it ends up making sure that the errors don't go through Like it tries to really prevent you from having errors. So this is something that's actually preventing it. So I don't think necessarily there was a error that actually happened. I think it got confused for a sec, but let me scroll back up. There we go. And I'll say, I remember showing this to somebody, and maybe you can speak to this, Anakin, because you originally were a coder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I studied computer science, and then I worked as a programmer for like 5 years before I
Mm-hmm.
started Platform. And even during like the first probably like 3, 4, 5 years of Jotform, I was still writing code. But
Yeah.
it's been a while since I touched code. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I will
Got
just
it.
start vibe coding as well. Yeah.
Well, I think that's it's something to note though that you have other people doing it, but here's the crazy thing. I was having somebody sit in and watch this on my team, and they're like, "Oh, it's kind of taking a while," and I was like, and then I opened up the coding page, like this showcases what it's changing, and I'm like, I don't know, this seems pretty quick. I think a person would take much longer. Um, it's definitely intriguing to me how quickly it is. So, by the way, like I said, as it's writing the code, you can see it in real time. Okay.
Mhm.
You can also press dev mode. That'll show you the backend. And you also can sync your project to GitHub, which is really nice too. So all this information is on GitHub. So that if you ever want to transfer it or edit it in verse code, you can. So you can manually edit it too.
I think it completed product.
Yeah. Product page.
Nice.
Look at that. It did. It's funny. It actually stole the photos, so I'll have to tell it to rework this and stuff like that. But for overall, right? It's. I think what's really cool about this is it's definitely really robust. We were gonna maybe cover another tool called Firebase Studio. I don't know if we still are. I don't think we are. Right? We're not gonna cover that.
Yeah, no, I will cover another one.
Okay.
Firebase. Firebase like didn't really perform well. It just came
Yeah.
out recently, but I also had like lots of errors with it. So, um, but I tried it again. Let me check if it's worked. No, it still has a lot of errors. But I will actually cover another product
No, and
called.
that's okay. I just wanted to cover off on like one concept real quick here. It's just
Okay.
Firebase is like another example of a competitor to Lovable right now. I've tested a lot of these, and I have to say Lovable is probably the best. The reason being is this. It's the quickest thing to get you from point zero to point zero to MVP, right? When you have Firebase, apparently it might be robust in the back end in comparison, but it takes a lot more actual work. Like when people think of how could I get an app to be a front end facing application, Lovable is the solution. I would just recommend trying it out. If you have looked into Firebase, because I did, I wasn't that impressed in comparison. And Lovable was very quick and more readily available, in my opinion. So just had to cover up on that. But yeah, that's how you can make an app using using this tool. So I asked it to redo the page to make it a little bit better, right?
Looks great.
So it did a pretty good job, I'd say. I think it's a pretty solid hero page.
Impressive.
We don't really have a lot of the front end pages built out. I've literally just been focusing on the functionality of the app first, so I don't really care about the website right now, but it's pretty cool. You can see it could make a hero page pretty easily.
Lowell was definitely the winner in my case as well. Like because you were covering it, I didn't cover it, but it was also the winner in my case as well. It came up with the best design, best implementation as well. But I want to cover something else. It's called
Sure.
Relume, and it's a different kind of product. Share. So the idea is that if you think about it, like all these tools help you be able to iterate faster, be able to like just come up with ideas faster, try these ideas, all these things, right? In this case, Relume is this product that helps you build faster, and not just the homepage of the website you're building, but also the whole website, like just creating a sitemap, creating wireframes, style guides, and then so that you can actually like try different things, see what works, and then like just try different other things as well. And really did a good job at this. And uh, here I gave it this prompt, basically about the website, like the features I'm building, and then it first like once I prompted, it created the sitemap. So I don't want to waste time, so that's why I created previously. But here you can see basically it created this sitemap. Starts with the homepage. It shows like what sections you have, and then you can always like change the order of the pages, and you can add new sections if you want to, right? And just this is going to be my homepage, and then I will have this features page, pricing page, contact us page. This is great because it came up with these, it knows that I'm building a product page and potential sections it can have, and it came up with all these things just by single prompt, like simple, quick prompt gave me all these. And then it also created these wireframes. Basically, you can see that this is the homepage wireframe.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, it says upgrade to view the next pages. Just it gave me just access to one of them, but I can actually edit them here, right? I can just change the title, introducing jot form presentation agents, right? I can I'm just playing with all these different ideas, right? I can click on here and I can ask it to recreate things, like just it had that. Let's see how it does that. Okay, ask AI rewrite, right? If I didn't like this one, I can just replace it with some other text. So this is like really, I'm not at this point, I'm not really worried about the design, but I'm worried about the content.
Mm.
I feel like it's kind of like this, it's about information architecture of my website. I started with the sitemap. I created my sitemap. I added all the pages. Now I'm actually playing with the content on these pages. So I'm not actually wasting time with the design. That's going to come later. So different sections, different features, everything is here. It created all these things, and I can always update them, and I can change all these pages. And the next one is the style guidelines. So you know uh, from these like sitemap, wireframe, now I'm actually designing the web page. And one of the things I really like, and they have this feature pretty much like multiple bases, is the feature called shuffle. And I was like, why didn't we use a feature like this at just from AI agents? Like, just it's so cool because, like, just you try something, like it says schemes shuffle, and then if you don't like it, you just say shuffle, and then it recreates it. Shuffle, new colors. So basically, it's I can shuffle. I don't know why this part is not changing, but it can actually shuffle, change colors here as well. So I can actually try all these different colors, and maybe I need to click on something to make this apply here. Um, and so yeah, it's shuffling here and changing the colors, and then this is I think this is also made for like the web design agencies. So there's this something called, oh, actually the colors were actually here, so it was actually creating another version, I guess, here. You can create multiple concepts, even for yourself, like if within the company, if you want to show these different options to others, that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Click on full preview. Now I can see the page it created. So this is great for building the architecture, like the information architecture for your website. Yeah, I thought this was also cool. And if you're building a website, I think Relume.io is also another great option to use.
Nice. Um, well, I guess with all this, my question is to you. For the average user, what tool? I know we talked about Lovable for app building and for website stuff, but what other tool do you think would be like second on the list for, best quick website creator?
I would say, uh, let me V0 would be the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, uh, because it's also like it can create all these pages, multiple pages. It can do all these different things, and then you can also like build all this functionality, and not just the like the homepage, because many of the tools they just create web pages, but V0 can also like just like how you did with Lovable, it can add
Yeah.
all additional pages within like sections, apps within your product. So it will be more scalable as you build out your website. Like if you need like a membership section in your website, things like that, more advanced features that V0 will be able to do all these additional things for you.
Now, I did want to talk about this, and it's, once App Map is out, you'll be able to go to App Map rather than needing to go to their website. But they do, I did want to talk about pricing in some of these regards for a tool like Lovable. At the end of the day, you got to remember, this is a pretty robust system. And for all intents and purposes, the max price you can really pay for this is like $1,000 a month for like, basically coding nonstop with this. And honestly, it's pretty impressive, the price point that they're able to put this at. Like I think I'm on this plan right now, or this plan, I forget. And it's not that bad. I'm on scale 2, there we go. And I think you get like 1,000, and I'm building out the app, right? And it's per month, right? I'm not paying on a yearly basis, so I can scale up or scale down these monthly limits kind of as the product needs more and more changes or less and less changes. So I just want to call out that an actual developer will cost you so much in comparison to this. What can you speak to that regarding the price point?
Yeah, I think this is the age of ultimate no-code products. The AI is the ultimate no-code, because AI is like no-code products. You still needed to like learn so much, and you still needed to do so much. But the AI can actually accomplish so much, and it's just so much faster in terms of like both in terms of pricing, but it's also in terms of like building stuff. Like you can just build things so much faster and on the cheap. I think this is really great time for no code, and just for everyone to be able to do things and accomplish so much more.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time to live here, and it's a wonderful time to check out Jotform AI Agents if you haven't. Jotform AI Agents is the tool that's going to change the game for you when it comes to AI, and we really appreciate you guys supporting this podcast. Obviously, with all the shares and following, we've actually amassed a pretty solid amount of followers on all our platforms, specifically when it comes to YouTube. We appreciate that, but on the podcast platforms too. Thank you so much for everything. It's been a great. We're getting close to like 1,000 followers, which for a podcast that started a couple months ago, not bad at all. And we just want to recommend that you try out Jotform AI Agents and see whether it's for you, as it is the tool that can absolutely change.
Yeah, I mean, once you have your website, right?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna need this chatbot, and it's very easy to create your AI agents and put it as a chatbot on your website, and it's just gonna answer questions. But I think more important, like when you build a new website, like you forgot lots of things, you're missing things, like right. And then what happens is that when you put a chatbot on a website, people start asking all these questions, like instead of like searching for it on your website, and then you will discover like what people are seeking, what people are searching, trying to find about, and then you can actually improve your website with all that knowledge you gained from the conversation between the chatbot and the your visitors. So yeah, check out Chatform AI, just definitely.
I'm very excited. There's a feature I want to add. We can talk about it more offline, but I want to add this Jotform AI agent, but I also want to add a maybe a Jotform AI agent that's embedded into the product that, based off of the databases we have, maybe answers all the questions regarding how the apps work and maybe what recommends apps to people based off of the informations we have stored. So that's something that I think it's a great use case for example for Jotform AI agents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It will do a great job with that. Given the database and then being able to search and compare all these products, I think you should definitely give it a try. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this episode of the AI Agents Podcast, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
We'll see you the next time.